You know, as I watch Steph Curry at this age, at this point in his career, not that I imagine him retiring anytime soon, there's times when I get sad thinking about rooting for the NBA without Steph Curry. He has brought so much joy to the NBA. He plays with so much carefree, childlike joy. I'm talking about like every single night, every single time you watch Steph Curry, he makes you feel happy because he seems so happy. Win, lose, or joy. Win, lose, or draw. He seems like he's having the best time out of everybody in the arena, including the people watching him. Steph Curry literally seems like he's having more fun playing than the people watching him, and the people watching him are having a fantastic time watching him. Let me just start with the Knicks. First of all, let's just start with Steph Curry. That little green-eyed motherfucker, Steph Curry, got 50 dropped on the Sacramento Kings. What can be said about this motherfucker? As I watch Steph Curry at this age, at this point in his career, not that I imagine him retiring anytime soon, there's times when I get sad thinking about rooting for the NBA without Steph Curry. He has brought so much joy to the NBA. He plays with so much carefree, childlike joy. And I don't know. I mean, my wife said, I don't think you've ever loved another NBA player as much as you've loved Steph Curry. And that might be true. I think Steph Curry might be my all-time favorite player to watch as an adult. As a kid, it was different. Man, see, now as a kid, it was Dr. J, and it was Magic Johnson, and it was Isaiah Thomas. I mean, I loved watching other players too. I loved watching Moses Malone. I particularly loved Bernard King when he was with the Knicks. I loved watching World B. Free when he was with the Cleveland Cavaliers, because I knew World B. Free. I talked about this before. When I went to Brownsville, Brooklyn, for the very, very first time to play, World B. Free was in the park playing, and he had just come out of he was still in the NBA. I spoke to World this weekend because World still works with the Philadelphia 76ers. And I never forget that. Former co-host of the I Am Rapaport. When I went out there when I was 12 years old, World was in the park playing. And we're not talking about some fancy park. We're talking in the park in Howard Projects. But Larry Bird, when he was in college, Magic, because I hated Larry Bird when he got to the Celtics. That's been documented. In my book, This Book Has Balls, Sports Rants from the NBA of Talking Trash. Magic Johnson, Isaiah Thomas, joy. Dr. J was not even joy that he gave me. He was like a superhero. Dr. J was like some otherworldly figure. But Magic, Isaiah, pure joy. Bernard King, like you were just like, what the f-? You never could get inside Bernard King. So I loved watching him, but you never felt like you were. And I met Bernard King once. He was a fucking dick. I know Bernard King has suffered from drug and alcohol problems, and full transparency, when I met him, he seemed like he was wet. Seemed like he had been drinking, and it was the middle of the day. We met him at some soul food spot in Harlem. And he was a dick to me and my friends. This is after he retired. Forgive. Don't forget. You hurt my fucking feelings, BK, from BK. I mean, they're obviously Michael Jordan in college, Michael Jordan in the pros, but there became a time where I hated Michael Jordan. I couldn't stand that motherfucker once he started demoralizing and beating the shit out of my New York Knicks. Who am I going to get to? Steve Nash, Dirk Nowitzki, Charles Barkley. But I would say Magic and Isaiah, I had that feeling for. And Steph Curry. Patrick Ewing. I mean, there's Knicks. But I'm talking about like every single night, every single time you watch Steph Curry, he makes you feel happy because he seems so fucking happy. Win, lose, or joy. Win, lose, or draw. He seems like he's having the best fucking time out of everybody in the arena, including the people watching him. Steph Curry literally seems like he's having more fun playing than the people watching him, and the people watching him are having a fantastic fucking time watching him. But he's just pure joy, pure, need I say, magic. So the Golden State Warriors are playing LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers, and I'm happy. I rooted. I'm on record. I rooted for the Lakers versus the Grizzlies. They shut Ja Morant and Dylan Brooks down. And Dylan Brooks, you are a bitch-ass hoe. You played yourself. Yo, you have made yourself into a mockery. You need to really come back and improve your game, because if you don't, and I don't want this or wish this on any NBA athlete, you might be out of the NBA because you are now a marked man. But the fact that you talked all that shit and then didn't talk to the press after those games when you were getting your ass bust real nice and real proper. Although I think the Memphis Grizzlies and the coach are probably like, don't say shit. I think the coach and the general manager and the owner of the Memphis Grizzlies, after they started losing, were probably like, leave. Leave, and you're going to pay the fine. He's like, well, I'm going to get fined. Fuck you. Either you leave, don't say shit to the media, or we're going to fucking cut you halfway through the playoffs because you have made yourself into a mockery. But watching the dismantling of the Memphis Grizzlies brought me joy, because the Memphis Grizzlies are an Instagram team. You motherfuckers think that the NBA is Instagram. You motherfuckers think that the NBA is AAU. And Ja Morant, your season is a wash. But after it's all said and done, after all the shotgun willies and the gun on Instagram and the strip club and the whole thing that you did, you come back, you had a great game, that one game, you scored like 23 points in the fourth quarter, whatever you did. And I'm not taking anything away from your talent. But to see Ja Morant giggling, laughing, yucking it up, whispering, and being whispered to after the game. Anthony Davis is whispering in his ear. He's whispering in Anthony Davis's ear. I had to think of my man Isaiah Thomas, and I was like, why don't you just walk off the court, man? And for those of you who don't know about what happens in the back room by the locker room, because you think, oh, Mike Rapp, it's sportsmanship. Oh, Mike Rapp, it's not that serious. Oh, Mike Rapp, they're millionaires. It's just the game. I like the appearance that you guys care. Not that Ja Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies don't care, but that was one thing about the 80s, the 90s, up until Instagram. We're now we see everything behind the curtain. I like the idea that Danny Ainge hated Michael Jordan. When you watch The Last Dance, You see that Michael Jordan and Danny Ainge played golf before the game when Michael Jordan scored 63. But the fans didn't know that shit until 30 years later. It gives us the feeling, the idea that, they're competing at the highest level and all this friends and family whispering, yucking it up shit. It takes away that idea that you guys will do anything to win the fucking game. And Isaiah Thomas, he did not like when the Boston Celtics beat him. He did not like when the Chicago Bulls beat him. And he's paying the price. To this day, motherfuckers are still talking about that. But I'd rather see some fucking... feel like John Morant's on the bench fixing his hair, laughing and smiling when there's 5 minutes left. When the season's over, and then you're out there hugging it up, doing handshakes and giggling and all that shit. If you've never been near the locker rooms of the NBA teams, I have. I have been backstage. Let's call it backstage. After an NBA game. They're all back there. Both locker rooms are right next to each other. They could yuck it up, giggle, kiss each other, make out, rub each other's bruises and boo-boos and all that shit backstage. But as far as the fans, give us the impression that you give a fuck. Because you're going to see each other backstage also by the locker rooms. So is it all for show? So when John Morant, you go, we're not worried about anybody in the West. Is that all for show? What can we believe or not believe anymore in the NBA? It takes away that idea that these guys are really, really, really giving it their all. Anyway, I just don't like to see it. Some people, I don't like to see it because I've been back there and I've seen them coexist, walking out of the building together, talking to each other. So if John Morant, you want to kiss and hug Anthony Davis after the Lakers busted your ass, do it backstage by the locker rooms. Don't do it in front of all the cameras. Give him a pound and get the fuck off the court. You just got your asses kicked. Speaking of getting their asses kicked, the Knicks game 1, we lost. We lost badly because we were up, 12, 15 points. We had control of the game, and then we lost control of the game. And that game 1 loss, that Sunday pouring rain on a Sunday, and me and my wife, we had drove back after my show Saturday, 2 hours in the pouring rain. And one of the reasons was because I wanted to get a good night's sleep in my own bed to watch game 1 of the New York Knicks versus the fucking miserable Miami Heat. I wanted to be there to experience it in front of the TV in the comfort of my own home. Of course, I can't go to the arena. I'm on the list. But watching the Knicks lose to the Miami Heat and the way they lost, playing so bad, and I know it's game 1, and I believe that the Knicks are going to still win the series. I think now it's going to go 7 games. I had the Knicks in 6. Full transparency, I bet $250 on the fucking game. That's not a lot of money, but it still hurts. I'm betting on every game because I'm so emotionally involved. This just adds a little sugar to it. And I don't do it for the money. I do it for the honey. Say it again. I don't do it for the money. I do it for the honey. But putting a little brown sugar on it, it adds interest. Not that I need it, because watching the Miami Heat and watching the Knicks lose the way they lost, playing so badly, watching Kevin Love throw outlet passes in the third quarter. There were 3 outlet passes for layups and dunks in the third quarter. That's like basic 3rd, 4th, 5th grade basketball shit. Get back on defense. Watching them struggle to score a basket in the fourth quarter. The whole day brought back bad memories of the 90s Knicks. And there's a lot of good memories. But we never got over that fucking hump. We never got over that fucking hump. And it started with Michael Jordan. It was Michael Jordan. It was that snaggletooth fuck, Reggie Miller. And it was the Miami Heat. And we beat them and they beat us. But I was putting it all together. My first son was born May 2nd, 2000. May 2nd, 2000. When you have a kid, when you have your first kid, sports goes in the back burner. Not because you love your kid so much, because you're sleep deprived. You do not fucking sleep, especially that first, second, and third year. You're all fucked up. You're dizzy from not getting any sleep. So after I had my first son, football games, basketball games, you catch what you could catch. There's no longer staying up. Your Sundays are... My football, NFL Sundays have never been the same. Full transparency since I had my first kid. Of course, now with, red zone and all that shit, it's different. In fantasy football, it's different. But just sitting in front of the TV and actually watching football on a Sunday, it's I still haven't recuperated. It's just different. Same thing with the NBA. But watching that game and sitting there kind of like, fuck, we lost. Watching the Garden get quiet towards the end of the game, it brought back a lot of bad memories, a lot of fucking bad memories, a lot of bad feelings, a lot of resentment. Seeing Dwayne Wade sit there with his fucking sunglasses on, sitting there watching Trevor Noah. Ain't you supposed to be a Knicks fan? After the game, he's like yucking it up with Jimmy Butler. This is why you motherfuckers shouldn't be there. You fake fucking Knicks fans. Boo that motherfucker, Jimmy Butler. You're courtside. Boo his ass. Boo these motherfuckers. Gabe Vincent. Kevin Love. No disrespect, I love him. But if I was there courtside, I'd be booing these motherfuckers. Boo, motherfucker. The whole thing just left me with a bad taste and bad feelings and bad memories and memories of, because when you're 20, 21, 22, all the way to 30, even when I had my first kid, you're underdeveloped, especially as an actor, successful actor. As soon as you start getting success, notoriety, and fame, you start developing as a person. Any famous person will tell you that. That's why these people that get ultra famous, they get all fucked up. Because we're used to being catered to. We stopped developing. So when I was watching the Knicks play the Chicago Bulls, the Indiana Pacers, and the Miami Heat, even when I'm 29, I'm basically 19. I'm fucked up. So yesterday, game one, brought back those memories. My inner child was in turmoil. Okay? Like I said, I know it's only game one. Like I said, I know that the Knicks are going to bounce back. Like I said, I am still going with the Knicks to win this series. Obviously, now it's going to be in 7 games. It ain't going to be in 6 games. But I expected, and the Knicks in the first half, up until about 3 minutes in the first half, were playing like they were going to win that game. And then shit fell apart. Anyway, that was my weekend. Moving on.